Hey guys, and today we're going to be going over how the weapons in flawsglass have been made. So first off, we start off here in Blender. Obviously we begin with building the model first, which this is the animation file, and I'm not exactly going to go over an entire modeling tutorial, that would take way too long, and not to mention this model is near 2 years old at this point, so it's not the greatest quality. If you actually want a model that has quality behind it, I've posted this Tech 9 kind of submachine gun on my CG Trader page for about $2. You can buy it and use it in your game all you like, animations, anything like that. But it definitely fits the game, that's for sure. So anyways, we go here, we set it up, we animate it. Now I'll explain the timeline in a minute here. So go back here, start the first frame. Usually the first frame is the idle frame of the animation. Switch to material mode. There we go, we got materials loading, and here we are. So, frame 1, usually the idle, and now how I animate this is I go for every 5 frames. So, as you see, the 5th frame has the flash effect, which is actually just a cone that appears and disappears when we fire the gun. So, do that. Go to the 10th frame, we have a little bit of recoil here, and then back here it kind of is still back, doesn't reset to 1 fully, but as you can see, if we went from 1 to 15, having that reset when you switch back to idle mode kind of gives that transition a little bit. So, you see that here. So anything in between doesn't actually get captured into the game, basically. Because we're only rendering frames 1, 5, 10, and 15. So basically once we have all that done, we would render it. So for example, I'm just going to do one image here. So as you can see here, we've rendered the image. This is just a PNG. This is the render output. You do this with frames 1, 5, 10, and 15 for this weapon. Some weapons have more frames, some have less. As we can see, the flash effect looks really good. His fingers look alright. Weapon textures are okay, and we're basically good to go. Obviously, I'm not going to show all the frames running here. That would be pretty boring. So let's move into Unreal. Okay, so this really isn't about like the inner workings of the weapon. So for example, we have AC weapon attack method right over here. I'm not clicking on these because OBS will switch and make the screen look weird. So AC weapon attack method right here, AC weapon flipbook, AC weapon stats, AC sound emitter. These are all obviously components of the weapon, and right now we're just using the machine gun, the light machine gun, as an example for kind of the visuals of this. So let's get right into it. We're going to open this up. And I'm not going over the guts, like the attack methods, weapon stats, and sound emitters, because those are all internal and they're just very technical and it'd be kind of a slog to go through. They don't really affect the visuals of the gun, obviously. So here, I've got some comments asking to explain how the offset for the weapon works. Now, basically what's happening here is you have a component called AC Fav that's on your player character that calls this function, and it gets your current FOV. Current weapon FOV is not equal to it. Obviously, for the most case, it won't be. Let me update it. So that looks like this. It's just all it is. We're setting the current weapon FOV. Go back here. Now, the sequence node, probably need to remove that. All we do here is you can see we kind of move it down a little bit. We actually maintain the X and the Y of the weapon, but we just move it on the Z axis by a little bit of a kind of a calculation here. And the weapon Z offset kind of needs some tweaking sometimes. And here we have a little bit of a multiplier that kind of affects the scaling of it, to say the least. So obviously if you have a weapon that may appear larger, it'll sort of maintain its ratio, basically. It'll sort of maintain the ratio of the weapon relative to where it is. That's all that helps with. Alright, we've got some clamps. That's pretty much the gist of it. You're just getting your field of view, whatever you have. So, like, let's go here. Let's actually just pick up... well, no, I'm not going to show off that weapon yet. Okay, like the chainsaw. This one's probably the best example of this. So, see, it just moves down. That's all it does. And I've demonstrated this in many videos before, but I've got some comments asking to explain sort of how it works. Which this method made the most sense for me. Now, if this were like a game with 3D meshes and stuff for the weapons instead of sprites, it'd probably be a lot easier to do. I'm just saying, like, there's reasons I didn't do that. The next game is most definitely going to have meshes for the player weapons instead of just sprites and stuff and characters and all that stuff. But that's a future project. So, This is just how we did it here. Obviously, there's a bunch of other stuff in here. This also maintains the animation of the flipbook, so when you actually fire the weapon, let's pick up a different weapon. Let's actually pick up the LMG. So go here. That actually handles this as well, because it's all the same flipbook. That's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.